Ijal lies, coughing, in a crater in the centre of the Church of Tamora. Phalart's fireball hit him true. His robe is singed and there are black scorch marks across his bones. He gazes upwards through a crack in the ceiling towards the purple scar in the sky. Suddenly fire. A greenish-black smoke swirls in front of him before igniting into sparkling green flames. A lizard-like eye blinks open from within. My lord! The bell. Your life means nothing. The sanctum will receive the bell. It's all going as planned, my lord. My life for the bell. Hey everybody, welcome to Whack and Roll Vagabonds. My name is Luke, I'm your GM, and my New Year's resolution this year is to cry. Cry every day.
Don't you do that already?
Yeah.
That's not unusual.
But now it'll be like he meant it.
It's not unusual.
To cry every day.
We've gone off track already.
Hi, my name's Tom. I was the Chief Master Sergeant of the Bird War because I had the seed, and I play Phalark, the half-elf sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Dora, I play Philippe, and I was the Airman First Class of the Bird War, and I distributed the seed.
And I'm Al, I play Yaga, and I was an innocent civilian and bystander witness to the horrible war crimes of the Bird War.
Why did I get left out of the Bird War thing?
Because you were at work when we were in Glasgow. This was months ago.
In the Botanic Gardens, we were feeding some pigeons some seed, and then this other guy across the garden started feeding pigeons seed, and so the pigeons went to him, so I threw more seed, and the pigeons came back.
The guy totally misunderestimated how much seed I had.
We had a lot of seed.
Most men underestimate how much seed I have.
Put it on the wiki, guys. Tom has bountiful seed. Put it on the wiki.
Alright everybody, it's time for the quiz.
Uh-oh.
Now,
Oh god.
Yes.
the first question is going to be open to the floor.
Cool.
Earlier this day, I posted 3 names into our group chat. Amelie, Mac, and Jeremiah. The first person to can tell me who those 3 are gets 2
Oh
points.
shit.
Oh, no! Oh.
Right.
Is it members of the necromantic cult? Damn it.
Civilians that have been killed in the Sand Bastard War.
Already?
That is partially correct.
Because
I
they're
must
civilians, but they're not dead.
No.
I don't
say,
know.
the civilians who are dead.
No.
You're
The
insane.
civilians who are
accepting
going to
failure.
die.
Yeah.
One of them is dead.
Well, but it was...
One of them is dead, and now there's a bonus point on the table if you can tell me which one is dead.
Jeremiah.
Dora gets the bonus point.
I
Jeremiah's
also said
dead.
Jeremiah.
1 out of 3 chance.
Dora said it first.
I thought Iris was the only one that was dead.
Well, there goes that question. I'll take a point.
Thank you.
This is bullshit.
If
There's
I
still 2
come
points on the table.
second, I'll be really happy.
Shay is not dead. Shay,
That's not one of the questions I prepared.
Bird not dead.
Alright.
Bird alive.
Guys, you still have to figure out who the fuck these 3 people are.
I have no idea.
Oh my
were
God.
they the dwarves?
They were the dwarves of the caravan.
Holy shit!
Oh my
I got,
God.
like,
That was so fucking long ago.
That was so long ago. So Shea, we've already mentioned Shea. Shea is one of the necromantic cult, and is now, of course, the only remaining one after Iris died. Shea has a disability. What is it?
Her face be broken. She's mute. No, she's
yeah.
not mute. She's
not
talked.
mute.
she's deaf.
She's blind.
She is deaf!
Wait, what?
Holy shit!
Then why did she ask us a question at the end of the last episode? That was silly.
Because, so Kenku's whole thing is that they mimic sounds that they can hear. Shea is deaf, which is why she has such a connection to the other side, because that's all she can hear.
That was
Guys,
so-
I'm on a roll.
Dora is on a roll right now.
This is when I fail every single one and you start
Never
getting
happened
negative
before.
points. I know.
What is currently above the sky in the city of
a
Aegir?
big old hole.
Where does
Isn't
the
it
hole
like
lead?
a purple
It
cloud
leads
thing?
to the nasty lands of
There's a hole in the middle of
Ijal.
the sky. There's a hole in the middle of the sky. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole, and Ijal is in it.
You are correct. There is a hole in the sky. You
Was
need
it
to tell me exactly.
purpley?
It was
Yes.
purple.
The Netherworld. The Shadow Realm.
You're going to need to give
being
me the
told.
correct term for what that is in D&D, Tom. You should know this.
Shadow realm.
Astral plane.
It is the astral plane,
Yeah!
Alison. I'm proud of you. Okay, yeah. So, Aijal did split a tear into reality between two planes, the astral plane and the material plane. Where is, Aijal currently?
In the sky. No, he fell in the he's in the church! He's in the church because I threw him through it.
I almost don't want to give Tom this specifically because Tom specifically dunked him and Tom was like, yeah, he's in the sky. I'll give Tom a point, mostly out of pity.
Hey.
Haha, for once you're getting the pity point.
My next question was going to be, what tragedy happened at the end of the session, but we know that now.
Ears died.
Ears died, yes.
Ew.
What race was Ires?
High elf? I feel like he was
No.
tall.
A Goliath.
No.
He was not tall. He was never described as particularly tall.
A bug
They call him lanky and skinny.
Another goddamn drow.
Lizardman.
not a drow.
A lizardman.
Nope.
We're just gonna throw them all out there.
Nope.
A tall, skinny dwarf.
Nope.
A tall, skinny halfling.
Was it halfling?
No.
You love your halflings.
I do love halflings.
A human.
Nope.
I already had
Goblin.
you.
Okay. I think you're out.
I've run out of races in my head. Tiefling?
Ires? No.
Damn it.
Ires was an Asimar. Which-
Those ones.
Fucking...
We did explain is a very, very religious holy thing. And now, we've got one more question open to the floor. Oh no, do you know what? We got one more question open to the floor. And it is another, who is this character? Who is Puri?
Oh, Puri is the little girl that we met at the cult. She offered to
That is-
let us sit with her family.
That's correct. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the placings. Are you ready?
Ding ding.
In solid last place, with a grand total of 1 pity point, is a Mr. Thomas J. Thomason.
His actual name. Look it up.
Yeah, his actual name. He got full named. In second place is not Dora. It's
dang.
Al.
What?
In
Okay.
first place with 4 points is Dora.
I'm really proud of myself. I never thought I'd win
Speech.
this.
Academy speech.
I want to thank my mum, my dad. I want to thank the mess that I am of a human being, and I got to listen to all the episodes again recently.
Please keep going. I'm eating a sweet.
Oh shit. Okay.
Fucking
I want to
unprofessional,
thank
dude.
Tom for being rubbish.
You're being demoted.
You what?
You're being demoted.
Because
in
he's
the
the
Bird
general in the Bird War.
Ooh, I'm gonna throw seed at you. Make the birds go for you next time.
Bird War is
War.
older.
You don't
Then
have
we
any
take war on
seed. I
Westminster.
have the seed.
So, we start the session
Yes.
with Shea standing over the corpse of her closest friend and mentor. Arrest lies dead in the street. His eyes are 2 hollow black holes in his head. There's still like screaming and chaos going on in the streets as spirits slaughter innocents. I think that like Shea stands agog looking at the body of Arrest. What do you do?
I'd go hug her. Philippe would hug her.
She's very soft. She is a bird.
Yeah, I just give her comfort. I'd hug her and just a little stroke, like pat pat.
As thick as you hold Shea, Shea is trembling. And like when you do, like her eyes kind of like dart around a little bit, and then eventually she kind of mutters, "Loud death. Need quiet. Safe place. Come." And she starts moving away. Do you follow her?
Yes. Sorry, I have animate dead.
It's a shame that
Pick him up and move him around like a fucking weekend at Bernie's.
Oh no!
Just like the Bethesda game.
I've even got it prepared. It's got a little tick next to it. Let's not.
Shea leads you through the city, and you wind up somewhere familiar. You wind up at the Sword and Scabbard, which was the inn you entered in session 4. When you arrive at the door, like the doors are like off their hinges, and in its place there's a pile of furniture, like a barricade there. And I think that like you see like a face at the top of it, and there's like a no entry. We're keeping this door barred. And after a moment or two, they're like, no, I recognize them. Let them in. The barricade is lifted and then instantly replaced once the four of you are in the building. There are a few friendly faces, in fact, in this inn right now. There are a bunch of people here in varying states of woundage. Some beaten, bloody, some on death's door. Some somehow escaped the carnage outside. Among the faces, you see the dwarves that you rescued from the Thrakreen, the two that remain at least. Oh my god, I've already lost their names. Amelie and Mac. You also see Lady Eileen, the dwarf that Philip
Excuse me.
The dwarf Philippe arm wrestled with, and a few faces from the necromantic cult, including Puri and her family.
It's Mistress Eileen.
What did I say? I said Lady Eileen. Yeah.
You did. Embarrassing.
Until Al got the title right, I had no idea who that character was.
That fucking bitch.
Back.
I hate her.
She was a bit.
She was shit.
She was a bit shit.
I think that Shea kind of just says, still loud, but better.
Do I still have my friendly Henry, or is he?
Yes, you do still have the friendly Henry from last session.
Okay. I can't remember.
What
Is he
size
small?
was he?
He's a button, he has been enlarged.
He's a button.
I think that the four of you, Orthrus is still in pursuit. The four of you are taken to one of the back rooms of the inn, where Shea sits down. Shea's like struggling with a lot of this. A lot of her hearing comes from the channeling that Arrest does, which makes everything quite loud now and quite uncomfortable, to say the very least. The constant purplish glow of the astral plane rift above you is still very much like present, and still like even inside everything is tinted with this purple dark hue.
Just like a left tuber video.
They are all purple, yes.
They are very all gay. I mean purple. I think that she just looks and says, I shall dark. Not dead, not alive. Death don't want, life don't want.
How are we supposed to kill him if he's neither?
He weak. Not dead, not alive. Neither nothing. Weak. Destroy now, destroy all.
So if we get rid of him now, this is probably the only chance we're going to get, isn't it?
And what is he weak to?
Stabbing. I think Orthrus kind of chips in and goes, I can hear him. He's angry. His body, he's weak, and the soul stone is broken. If he kill enough here, he resurrect himself. He come back. But he's been stopped. If we stop him now, we stop him for good.
Cool.
Yes, and I think that that Shea just nods in agreement.
Cool. So if you have two characters that talk next to each other, they make sense as one.
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Okay. Well, to be fair, not letting him kill more people was kind of on the agenda anyway. So
yeah.
that works for me. If y'all are fine with it.
I'm a healer, so ostensibly I'm against death.
Killing people is bad unless they're the enemy.
Exactly.
That's a worrying mentality for the child to have.
There are people who it is correct to kill, and that is the takeaway of this podcast we want everybody to have. Sometimes murder is good, kids.
Yeah, it's been the takeaway of every general election in the UK for the past decade or so.
Where? That was a dab.
Thank you.
An audio dab.
I think that you guys are given a moment or two to catch your breath, which is going to count as a preparation or a short rest a long rest for our cases.
Does that mean we're not flying anymore?
No, you will still. How long does flying last?
A while.
10 minutes, wasn't it?
Right.
So you are not flying at the end of this.
How much
Friendly Henry
life?
Lasts for 8 hours.
8 hours, yeah. How much life does he have left before he's just?
We'll say this is 4 hours, so we still got plenty of time.
Yeah. 4 hours. Okay.
And yeah, so with that in mind, is there anything that you guys want to do while you prepare, or do you want to go?
For sure. We've got that bell, haven't we?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Have
It
that.
doesn't really ring, it just goes dunk.
Yeah, I want to ask. It's Shea. Sounds like she might know something about it. Like, if anyone.
Sam would
I'm just
rather
kinda
talk to her than Eileen.
I'm gonna put it to the floor.
Just gonna, hey, all the NPCs that we've met so far.
Which one of you was the bell expert?
Are you just going to tell everyone that you have this very powerful artifact?
No.
Not everybody knows what it is.
We'll start with Shea, and we'll go from there.
How do you approach Shea with this?
Hey Shea, here's a bell! How do I approach... Is it a delicate subject? Hey, got this bell? I can't quite remember exactly how we got it. I think I got it from slam dunking the undead lizard in the sky.
You did.
Doesn't seem to do much when I ring it, though. Any ideas?
I think Shea tilts her head and...
This goddamn... I think. You're the GM, you know.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's trying to decide how much each NPC knows. Giving him a little bit of
Shea
credit.
looks at the bell, like, tilts her head one way, then tilts it the other way, and shakes her head saying, I do not... And then, like, her mouth sort of, like, cracks open wider than you've seen it go. And a voice emanates from inside that says, do not let anyone else see that! And then her mouth closes and she sort of shakes her head.
Uh-oh. Anyone know that voice? In particular?
It's not a voice that you've heard before.
I'm just gonna... Phaelok just instinctively, while her mouth's snapping back shut, puts the bell under his hat.
Every time Phaelok walks now, it goes dunk, 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 dunk.
It's my shoes. Breaking them in.
They've got bells, I mean.
Shea.
Shea, do you know who that was?
Presumably you heard that.
I feel like, yeah.
Shea's like powerful. Mm-hmm. Not easy to channel voice through unwilling.
Right.
I mean...
Could you become willing? I'd like to chat more with them.
I think that she kind of looks and says, loud, too many spirit. Could try later.
Yeah.
So I guess we keep the bell hidden for now then.
Yeah, we can worry about this after we've done the boss fight, and then it'll be quieter,
Fair.
presumably, and we can go ask Shea about it. Shea.
I would like that, and I think the GM liked that too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, fine. You asked us for any prep. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm joking. As you guys exit the inn, you see the church up on the hill in front of you. It's a fair distance away, and you can see swarms of black shadows flying above the church, a swirling vortex of these abhorrent shapes floating above the circle between that rift in the sky and the church itself. The stairs up are, however, unguarded.
Oh, that's nice.
Meh. Well, I mean, if it's just a swarm coming out of a plane, they don't exactly invest in security detail, do they?
That's a good point. I was going to do a perception check, but now I won't.
Yeah, it's like asking to see the tornado that's like a few feet in front of you.
Yeah.
You see it.
Let's go!
As you start to walk up the steps towards the temple, Orthrus starts to back away.
Oh.
They'll be angry at me, Yaga.
Well, yeah. But, you gotta deal with the fight sometimes. You can't be afraid of doing what's right for fear of people that are going to shout at you.
Come on, Orphe. Yaga gave a really good speech last time about how you need to not run from your responsibilities.
I
I do
did.
not like the name Orthy.
Well, I do, and to be honest, I don't think you're in any position to argue.
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. 16 total.
Orthrus still looks scared, but they kind of puff out their chest a little bit, and they nod and stay silent.
I mean, yeah, man, we're all scared.
But
Don't
we've got
worry
each
about
other.
it. Yay! Everyone,
This
put
is
your hands
not
in
what
the
I
middle and I'll
wanted.
mark us with a special sign.
I think this means we're in again now.
Orthrus is holding their hand out expectantly now.
Philippe, mark us with a special sign.
What would our special sign be?
Fuck's sake. It was not meant to require thought.
I'm gonna draw a rock.
like across all of our hands.
Because together we are strong.
Also in memory of the OG Friendly Henry. Sorry, Button Friendly Henry.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's okay, father. You guys make it to the top of the stairs, and when you do, the closed doors to the temple burst open, and this cold wind blows from within, and you all hear, Yaga.
Yes, I know you're expecting me.
Too late. I killed the Yaga.
I mean...
No, you didn't. She's right there.
Hello?
The wind... I killed the Yaga, not killed the Yaga. God.
No, she's right here.
Future tense, boys. The wind stops dead.
I mean, you gotta get your grammar right if you're gonna be comprehensible.
You have killed, Yaga.
The doors in front of them are now open, but you cannot see inside. Between you and there is this thick wall of inky darkness.
So I know you two have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It is not helping.
Well, shit.
No. This is advanced darkness.
I have a spell called Daylight.
A 60-foot radius of sphere light spreads out from a point you choose within range. It sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet. If any of the spell's area overlaps with an area of darkness created by spell 3rd level or lower, the spell that created the darkness is dispelled.
Ooh, but it was darkness created by a higher, wasn't it?
You don't know. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh fuck, that's only 7.
You can't discern it right now. If you want to cast a spell, you can give it a shot.
Fine, I'll try. Is there anything specific I need to do for Daylight? Or do I just go?
You point your finger in, and this burst of daylight erupts from within. I'll say it's definitely limited because of the darkness all around. Like I'd say a rift to an entirely other plane is above a 3rd level, so it's not like creating too much light, but it does dispel the magical darkness within.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Inside, you see a bunch of shadowy figures, and in the very center of the room, there is a crater, and you can see a lot of movement going in.
Huh.
Do y'all wish to proceed?
Sure.
Onward.
What are my other options?
Fleet just marches forward, holding hands with Button Friendly Henry.
As you all enter the chamber, this cacophony of whispering sounds and hushed shrieks of souls tormented for eternities, begging to be released from their prisons, fill your heads.
You can tell that you wrote this bit down beforehand.
He did. You can feel the darkness numbingly cold against your skin. The chamber resembles the church that you've seen before. There's a few pews and a couple statues around. What's new to the area is translucent figures. Featureless mannequin-like humanoid beings sit and stand all around the room. They flicker in and out of existence, but they're always watching you.
Gross.
Above you, there's this flickering purple hue. It creates the only somewhat natural light, as through the hole in the church roof, the slash in reality can be seen. In the centre of the room lies a mess of rubble, some from the ceiling and some from a statue to Tomorrow that was once there and now lies shattered around the floor. There's a crater in which Aijal's broken form sits. He is obviously... He's obviously wounded. He's lying in this crater, wheezing, and across this mass of bones and skulls that make up his body, a thick black liquid is oozing out, similar to the material that makes up the spirits that were running around the streets. As you enter, he begins to lift his body up with these skeletal hands reaching out from the pile of bones and sort of like clattering together. You've seen his skeletal form before, Yaga. To Philippe and Phalark, this is new. And it looks less formed. It looks much more chaos, like there's bits that aren't supposed to be going where they're fitting, that he's just sort of like ramshackled skeletons together. Tonight, I finally do my master's bidding. I will give the sanctum the bell, and I will kill the Yaka. He coughs. This large trickle of black blood drips from his fanged dragonborn skull.
That's nice.
His skeletal form begins to tremble, and from within his body, this long white wooden staff emerges, and a wicked-looking Zweihander and an axe. Could we all roll initiative, please?
Please include that
really,
sneeze.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but that killed the intimidation value. A huge axe and a wicked Zweihander. Achoo!
Alright, let's roll. Hey everybody, welcome to the awkward middle bit. We actually do have an announcement this time, so let's jump into this. We have a new member to the Whack-A-Roll team. Bethany, a friend of ours, has recently volunteered to help us out by taking over our social medias. You may have noticed, but we were awful at keeping up with them. So far in 2020, we've posted more on Instagram than we have in the entire life of the podcast. So yeah, while we are all still a volunteer podcast, we now have a volunteer social media manager to go with it. So thank you to Bethany. She'll be getting a character named after her in the podcast later. Time for the usual stuff. Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Whack-A-Roll on all of those, and you can send us feedback at whackaroll@gmail.com. Don't forget to also leave us reviews if your podcast app lets you. Any sort of engagement like this really helps us grow, and the sooner we get 1 million listeners, the sooner we can all quit our day jobs and finally be happy. This is a longer episode today, I think. I'm not done editing it yet, so that we can finally place a bow on the bell tolls and move on to newer, greener pastures. So enjoy this, the final session of the second Vagabonds arc. I really hope you enjoy it. We really, really loved recording this episode. So sit back and enjoy the rest. Toodles. Failark, what was your initiative?
19!
Oh, wow.
At least someone's rolling well.
Yaga
7.
and Philippe.
7.
Failark, you act first, but before you do, Ijal is focusing. He chants a couple words, and some of these spirits around the room, they shriek as their forms begin to shake like they are vibrating from within. Suddenly, they sort of shatter, and the darkness that their bodies were made of pools into one mass on the floor. Pieces of the broken statue to Tamora begin to rise up into a lumbering golem of shadow and stone. These pieces aren't connected, rather, it's like the shadows are water, and each section floats among it. So there were 2 creatures.
I don't like that. Right, okay, so I guess first things first, if there's a big spooky man, I'm gonna do a big spooky testing shot. I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt at the Rockman.
At the Shadow Golem.
The Rockman.
Okay, give me a 2-hit attack.
That is a, oh my god, 25.
Oh, that fucking hits then.
Sorry? Chaos Bolt. Okay, so, pull out my wandy, wiggle it around a bit, and I launch my big spooky orb of chaos nonsense. It warbles, as we've established. The damage type is cold.
Cold.
Brr.
Burr indeed. Okay.
Okay, so 16.
16 damage.
16 chilly damage.
I think that you flick your wand and this like beam of ice just shoots out for a second. It crashes into the shadows, and I think it just sort of pierces through it, and like this like thick viscous liquid begins to like cold over. It like frosts for a second before warming up. It definitely seems to have dealt damage.
Good. I was hoping it would.
Failark.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Nothing's happening, don't worry.
Oh. There's not going to be a spell that happens to you.
Oh my god, I nat 20!
Oh,
no.
Christ.
That's not ideal.
Okay, so I'll just forget what I was going to do and prep a healing spell.
I'm sorry,
It's gonna be fine.
Failark.
Yes.
Ijal shoots forward at a speed you were not expecting. And like a series of his like skeletal hands reach out. You try to get out of the way quickly, but like one of them grabs you by the throat, and the other one's like by like your wrists.
Kinky.
25 points of necrotic damage.
Ow, my knee!
Do you perchance resist necrotic?
No.
Fuck.
Unless he does. I don't think I do.
He does it not. Yeah, you feel like this like coldness like ripple through your body, and it is excruciating. Failark screams out in agony, and when like Ijal like kind of like pulls away, there are like these big black scars across your neck where his hands were.
To go with the big scars that were already around Failark's neck. Great. They don't even match.
They don't match.
Oh,
it is.
I take 6
now,
points of psychic damage.
However, in a little bit of help after that, I think what actually happens here is, Ijal is not letting go, and it feels like you're about to lose, you feels like you're about to die. You feel your vision in and out a little bit, and then there's this bright light as a burst of orange flame hits Ijal on the side. You look for the source, and there is a flaming panther with their eyes burning red as Orthrus deals 7 points of fire damage.
Oh shit! The kid's good. The kid did it.
Yay!
A useful child.
And that's what causes Ijal to let go. It is now Philippe's turn.
Hello. So Ijal's right by Phalark, isn't he? Because I was planning on, just in case we need it, giving people painter inspiration, but I've always thematically wanted to be me putting paint on people rather than just going, inspiration.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can still do that.
Big Scary Man's by Phalark.
You can still do that.
Can I just put a bit of paint on my slingshot and just slingshot Phalark from a distance?
Absolutely, you can.
And then just handprint Yaga in the face. Like the Uruk-hai.
What colour is it?
The white hand of Philippe.
I believe you can only do one painter's inspiration per turn.
Ooh, okay.
I'm good for the minute. I'm rolling pretty well.
Okay, and plus also, I just while Yaga's here, I'm just gonna smear Philippe's hand across Yaga's face.
Excellent. But what colour is it?
What colour? I feel like, what colour's Philippe? I feel like Philippe's colour is yellow, but yellow is rubbish as face
skin.
paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with blue. I feel like
blue it is.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so right, I don't need to roll, do I?
Nope, that just happens.
Cool, good, because I just rolled a crit failed.
What does this mean for me?
So any non-damage roll, you get to add 1d8.
Cool. Into non-damage.
Yep, you choose it. It's
when.
not all of them, and you choose it once. You may use your bonus action on your turn to choose one of the creature, yes. So you have your main action as well.
What can Philippe do? Not a lot, but he could do some things. I'm going to use my magic stone. So I'm going to get my slingshot out and pew pew at the eye golem.
Okay, you shoot Stone Golem.
Stone golem. Ooh, I did turn it into Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I rolled a 19, if that has any pluses. I don't know. Do I have pluses? Is attack bonus what you add on?
Yeah, well, 19 will hit.
Yeah.
Now roll your damage.
That is a 5.
Proud of you. A ball of paint splatters across the golem's chest. It is now Yaga's turn.
Hooray! Hey Phalark, how's the health doing? Yeah, I thought so. How far away from him am I?
Not too far away. I'd say maximum 10 feet.
Right, and that's within free movement, eh?
Yeah, your movement will be 30.
I'm just checking. I'm just comparing healing spells. I can move, heal, and then move back because that's still under 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Phalark, which would require me going up and touching him. And that creature you touch regains hit points equal to 1d12 plus spellcasting. Spell deals damage equal to the amount rolled to the undead. And can I add Painter's Inspiration to that? Because that would give me an extra. No.
It's a weird thing, but healing and damage is counted as a similar sort of stat.
I'm only going to do this through first level. So that's 6 plus 3 is 9.
Cool, so I heal for 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Cool.
And
adequate, or will I need to do that again?
I'm still not doing great. But I feel like this is going to be one of those fights where if we just constantly keep healing ourselves, they're just going to keep bringing us back down before we can kill them.
Yeah. Well, that's why you only have one healer and not 4.
it is now Friendly Henry's turn.
Ooh.
Friendly Henry is going to take his arm out of his hole
Ugh.
and suddenly just roll at full speed towards the iron golem. A stone golem.
Okay.
To deal bludgeoning damage, which is, I believe, what Friendly Henry does.
Please roll a 2-hit attack.
With Friendly Henry's just entire form.
So that's 15.
Friendly Henry builds up a pretty impressive amount of speed, but clatters off the golem effectively.
I mean, he is a button, so...
He is a button. And then the golem blinks at Friendly Henry for a second.
Oh, please don't snap Friendly Henry off.
Oh my god.
Woof.
It does hit Friendly Henry. Oh, Jesus. The golem lifts up its 2 arms and brings it crashing down. Friendly Henry, for a moment, you cannot see beneath the weight. And then when the golem lifts up its shadowy stone arms, there's just a tiny shattered button.
Oh, God.
You were so young. Literal minutes.
And is he going, Papa?
No, he's just dead. No sound.
Oh, God.
He doesn't get to say goodbye.
Shattered.
He doesn't get to say goodbye. Baylor, your turn.
Oh, okay, I'm going back in.
Ijal's right there.
Yeah, he
Like,
is.
Not really going anywhere. I'm right here.
And a skelly man. We can't do undead sessions, but it's just always there.
Fireball again, innit?
Nice.
Right, okay. I'm gonna whirl me wand around like I'm gathering candy floss, and that's how I cast fireball now. And then Felix just like, all right, one of these not good enough for you, and then sort of bowls it like a bowling ball at him.
Please roll your please. It's a dexterity saving throw, isn't it?
Yeah, dexterity saving throw. You're right.
That is 7.
Well, you needed a 15.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
You didn't,
Looks like you're going to get burned.
and that does
Okay,
that
Stew
does
those
mean
bones. Make them a
you're
broth.
gonna take
8d6 fire damage, if I'm correct.
yeah. Wait, what?
I'm acting like I'm not reading the rules right now, Tom, but I'm looking at the spell.
Everybody be prepared to count for Tom.
1,
Yeah?
Woo!
4, 4,
9,
1,
10,
3,
13,
6,
19,
6,
25,
3.
28.
That's not bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 28.
Yep. 28 points of fire damage.
Disco Inferno.
The ball strikes Aijal. You said you bowled it at
Like a
him,
bowling
right?
ball.
One of Aijal's legs blows clean off and just bones scatter around the floor,
Woohoo,
turning to
there!
ash as they do. It is now
Golem? No, Ijal.
Aijal's turn.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think it's time for Aijal's big spell.
That wasn't a big spell.
No, he has a 4th level spell.
Oh, I don't have a 4th level spell.
Yeah. Looks a bully.
Don't bully kids.
Aijal clasps their bony hands together around the tip of their white staff, and it begins to pulsate this deep purple energy, like crackling lightning. These bolts of lightning crash into the walls around you, and where they strike, small purple tears in reality begin to form.
Jeez.
From within burst these large, thick, ebony tentacles, squirming. They are surrounding, I'd say, they're further away from him, so they're on an opposite wall, and I will say they are thrashing around the area with Orthrus, Philippe, and Yaga in it, but Phalark, you are safe from this unless you moved closer towards them.
Oh, so this isn't... Okay.
It is now Orthrus's turn.
Wait, so he cast all of these tentacles. What? Is it like... What? What did it
What?
do?
Yeah.
It's made them.
Well, they'll get a turn, I'm sure.
Orthrus begins to cast a spell. And just as they do, one of the tentacles lashes out and wraps itself around Orthrus's left arm. And you hear this sickening...
Ooh!
What the fuck? Just made a
as the
child.
You just made a child. As Orthrus takes 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
You know, I actually read the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child today.
They have a right to both arms.
Honestly, nothing like this comes up.
Okay, Orthrus shrieks out in pain, but with their spare arm, they Oh, they don't have arms. They're
No,
cat right now.
yeah, I was gonna say they're panther.
I'll say it's one of their hind legs then. Orthrus roars, and as they do, there's this blast.
Sorry, how much? Like, I mean, Panther Orthrus will have different HP from from Child Orthrus, so like, there's potential that just made them lose their form.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Orthrus roars out in pain, and as they do, this blast of warmth fills the room. I'd say like this crack appears along the floor underneath Ajal's feet. Orthrus did good, boys.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
The ground underneath Ajal's feet along a 60 feet long line, just sort of like between Orthrus and Ajal, and it kind of goes up the wall on the end, cracks along, glows red for a second. This burst of like fire and magma erupts from underneath, creating a wall of fire. The wall of fire is short-lived as Orthrus is unable to keep concentration on the spell, but it does do, did I say 15? I think it said 15 points of fire damage to Ajal.
Hooray!
It is now Philippe's turn. Philippe, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so that's a 19.
Okay, one of the tentacles like reaches out towards you at an alarming pace, like moving like an eel in water, and you just sort of like dodge out of the way, like kind of like slides across you a second, but you doesn't manage to get a grip. It is your turn.
Right, so am I still in front of the iron golem?
Yeah, it's still not an iron golem though. It is still made of. It is called a shadow golem, boys.
And what size is it?
Big. It's about 7 foot tall.
Okay, so I want to shrink it down using my enlarge and reduce.
So it does attempt a Constitution saving throw to pass. It gets a 9. I think the individual parts of the golem start to shrink like independently of one another, and then something like the shadows sort of like collapse around it. Some of it like bleeds off almost, but the creature is now the same height as Philippe.
Yeah, boy.
Dope.
That's Philippe's action. Yaga, your turn.
Yeah.
Yaga, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, piss. I forgot about that. What is my dex? Okay, so 15 plus 2 is 17.
You also pass. The tentacles sort of like lash out around you, but don't manage to land a hit.
Yep. So I'm just going to do what I had originally planned before somebody needed healing. Which is, Philippe already ran off. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm out of range for this particular spell because it's on stealth, but it has a radius of 10 feet. I'm gonna cast Warding Wind, which a strong wind blows around you in a 10-foot radius and moves with you, remaining centered on you. The wind lasts for the spell's duration, which is 10 minutes. Following effects: it deafens you and other creatures in its area, extinguishes unprotected flames in the area that are torch size or smaller, hedges out vapor gas and fog that can be dispersed by strong wind. The area is difficult terrain for creatures other than you, and the attack rolls of ranged weapon attacks have disadvantage if it passes in or out of the wind.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
You have a really cool wind effect going on that makes Yaga looks fucking awesome right now.
But she can't hear shit.
What?
Dope.
Don't need anything, I can't hear yous.
What? Okay, it is... If that's your action, then it would go to the Shadow Golem, who is going to lumber towards Philippe and raise up its now much shorter arms. So, Philippe, you motherfucker.
Did you whiff it again?
1 second. And also it has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, which is why you just avoided a nat 20.
Oh my god.
Good.
But however, it still gets a 12 on AC. That's a hit, unfortunately.
Ooh-wee.
Okay. 8 points of damage. As one of those large bricks smacks into you, and it feels like cold, like it's almost like being hit by a small glacier.
He's dying.
It is now Phalark's turn again.
Those portals with grabby necrotic tentacles are still about, yeah?
Yep.
I'm going to light the hallowed censer. I think it adds everyone in a D4 radius, everyone in 10-foot radius to me gets a just plus a D4, don't they? I think.
Everyone gets an additional 1d4 radiant damage on any attacks they make.
I'm going to cast Fireball. Again.
This time we get a 16 on the dodge.
Shit.
Does that beat yourselves?
It does.
Okay, so
Fuck.
with that roll, that does half damage now.
Oh, it does half damage, does it now instead?
Yeah, you still take damage. Yeah, he still takes damage, but he takes half as much.
Okay.
And it's half as much rounded up.
2, 6, 4, 3, 6, 5, 1.
29.
Do I have any left?
So that'd be 15 points of damage plus your d4.
And my D4. 4. This D4's so sharp.
The blast doesn't do as much as I think Aijal, what they wind up doing is they turn their body and the fire blast hits into a section of their corpse riddled torso and blasts off a couple skeletons that they weren't using. But it still deals damage to their form.
And those skeletons are all like, "Nah, boss!"
Aijal approaches, and I think Aijal runs forward and let me just see here. Where's the spell I'm using?
Man, you really don't like me, huh?
One of Aijal's arms shoots out, and the bone arm just flies out of the body, completely disconnecting, and grabs at Yaga.
Oh, no, of course.
Does 16 hit your AC?
Good question. Unfortunately, it does because it's equal.
You take 2 necrotic damage.
Only 2.
Yeah.
Only 2.
As just the arm sort of and slaps you again.
It's like, ow, fuck off.
And meanwhile, Aijal's I'm fed up of this one. And the Zweihander he's been holding the entire time.
Ruh-roh.
Phalark, does 14 hit your AC?
It's funny because there's Zweihander you have to steal from the skeletons in Dark Souls. It does.
The Zweihander, I think it's dragging along the stone as Aijal approaches, and he just slashes upwards across your chest for 14 points of slashing damage.
What's wrong with you?
Bonked. Ow!
And there's just this huge red slash across your chest.
My ribs have become milkshake.
And Orthrus, who is just sort of shaking their head, fires another bolt of fire at deals. That's the wrong dice. That's why I have the D10 out. 9 points of fire damage. Orthrus fucking bops you. Philippe, it's your turn.
So I've got this. I have an idea.
That's usually a good sign.
You know when you're painting, and sometimes, especially if you have long hair, your hair gets in the paint, and then it's all stuck and gross and stiff. Could I potentially try and, in a sense, grapple quotation marks the Shadow Golem by just dumping paint on him?
Because I'm a kind of benevolent GM.
Philippe has no strength to grapple.
Okay. I will let you make a grappling roll with your spell casting modifier doing that.
Yay! Not that it matters, because it's my favourite number.
7!
Oh. 1.
Yeah, it rolls a 19.
Well.
You just coat it in paint and it just keeps moving, just slightly more colourful
It has
now.
really conditioned hair, clearly, because it just...
It doesn't have hair!
You said it wraps in hair.
No, it didn't say
Someone
that.
said wrapped in hair earlier.
Thank you.
It's stone and shadows, Dora.
I swear someone said hair earlier.
Something was mentioned about hair. It was not that, though.
Okay, it's going to smack at the small child again, because it can.
Well, shit.
And, the answer is yes, but 22 hit your AC?
Well, obviously. Stop showing off.
Oh my god. I did that,
I'm not going to feel bad with the child. 11 plus 4 damage then.
Wait. But is it not with the -4?
Oh, you're right. Oh, and it's also still got disadvantage.
Yeah.
It still hits.
Nice.
Alright.
Have we all been adding +4 to our damage, by the way?
No.
Fuck.
I don't think I've done damage yet, so...
No one else has done damage yet.
Orthrus did.
For Orthrus, you are correct. Give me a second. And it was 15 damage minus 3, so 12 damage to you.
I'm in a bit of a pickle. I have 2 hit points left.
It is now Yaga's
I
turn!
wanted to do something other than healing. And I think...
Then do damage.
I think...
I'll run away next turn.
Do damage.
What I am gonna do, does Igel count as a humanoid?
Yes.
Cool. Cast Hold Person. Choose a humanoid that you can see within range.
That's called hugging.
No! The target must succeed on a wisdom save or be paralysed for the duration, which is up to 1 minute. Or 10 turns, which would be fan-fucking-tastic. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make another wisdom save. On a success, the spell ends.
How does Hold Person look for you?
I'm getting fucking mad about Igel killing my friends. And he's just here for me. So fuck it. So it's a lot of frustration and focus and the hand wavy things.
And then I think what winds up happening is I think that Ajal is already raising their sword to kind of bring it back down on Phalark, and one by one each section of their bones begin to freeze up, they're locking together kind of thing, almost like they're being frozen, and with their last movement they kind of click their skull around to look at you
No.
It crit failed.
Oh, hell yeah,
dank.
baby!
It would now be Phalark's turn. What do you do against this very still Ajal?
Yeah!
Very stiff boy.
And just so we know, what I'm going to say, with that critical failure, he's going to have disadvantage on his first wisdom saving throw to get out.
Nice, because that is imminent.
Cool.
So-
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I've been saving these for a rainy day. I'm going to convert all my sorcery points into another 3rd level spell slot.
And what spell are you casting?
I'm going to go Fireball again. Because it's great.
If it works, it works.
Gotta love Fireball. But this time, once I've spun it and charged it up, I'm just going to put my wand through him. I'm sticking my wand in the boy. He's stuck there. I'm just going to detonate it in his belly.
So paralyzed is a condition, by the way.
Yes.
A creature is
Oh, right,
incapacitated and can't move or speak. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Nice!
Any attack that hits the creature is critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
I'm that.
Oh my god!
The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws.
I have done
Yes.
such a good spell, boys.
Phalark! Holy shit.
So what does it do double damage on a crit?
Weapon attacks do, spells don't.
Right.
Omaewa Moshinderu.
Shut up,
But what I will say is, you are sticking a fireball in his ribcage. I will give you a 10d6.
Nice.
Oh.
I'll keep counting for you.
This is great fun. So yeah, he's he proper windmills his arm, charging the spell up before jamming it right into that there rib cage. And he holds up the free arm, which has got the little bit of the stone drawing from Philippe on it. And says, "By our powers combined." And we're gonna just let it rip, I guess.
Yep,
Here
please
we go.
no rolls needed. You roll 10d6.
That is rolls needed.
Yeah.
It's a good start. 6,
Nice.
5,
11,
3,
14,
1,
15,
2,
17,
2,
19,
4,
23,
3,
26,
2,
28,
and 6.
34.
And plus 1d4.
And plus 1d4.
Oh, it's on the floor. It's a 1.
35.
There is this flash of bright light, and Ajal just screams, this voice echoing from within their body,
Can't scream, they're paralyzed.
I know. I am fudging the rules because I want them to scream in agony.
Nice.
Their body is starting to burn away. I think at this point it is Ajal's turn. Oh my god, they nat 1'd again.
Oh, fantastic, baby. Keep rolling this.
I think that what we see is, in the flash of bright light from the fireball, you all see these like white shadows, almost like in the flash, in the bright light. It's almost like you are illuminating light.
I'm imagining like that fucking Captain Falcon anime.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I hate that you brought up a Captain Falcon anime. Dramatic
so
scene. And like, yeah, in this, you can see these like almost like white, bright light shadows holding Ijal in place. Orthrus' turn. I think Orthrus like kind of like steadies themselves, and they turn back into their panther form, and they pounce, and they hit, which is of course an automatic crit. Jesus Christ, what is this?
It's the best spell I've ever cast.
This is a really good spell, Yaga.
Wizards of the Coast, what are you doing? In essence, 4d4 damage, plus 1d4, Jesus Christ, 5d4 damage, 16 points of damage. As, in essence, like, Orthrus just sort of, like, lashes out, and, like, their claws, like, scratch right across Ijal's skull, creating, like, these, like, 3, like, burned claw marks across the eye socket. It is now Philippe's turn.
In the moments of Philippe, because I can imagine sort of Philippe's on the floor, even though the stone golem's not full size, you know, still probably looming over Philippe. I'm going to call out through the, let's see if I can say this word, evocation?
Yep.
Evocation, yeah.
Evocation of the storm to whole Hera, just basically, because Philippe's near death, and he would basically cry out, help, I'm going to die. And from what I've learnt from playing my first ever Pokemon game, water beats rock.
Please roll me a persuasion check.
It's a universal law.
Philippe's crying in his call out.
Aww.
Do I get charisma?
Yeah.
On it? Cool, so that's 21.
Jesus Christ. You cry out, and I think we see this fist raising up to strike Philippe. And you cry out, and when you cry out, you try to say, like, help, I'm going to die, or something along those lines, but the voice that emerges from your mouth is not your own. This one is protected. Dora, please roll 8d6.
Yay!
Right, let's grab all my lovely nationals dice.
Feels good, huh?
Wowie.
We very much just entered the cinematic killing phase, haven't we?
Yes. 25, 27.
27 points of damage. That, the lightning bolt that erupts out of your fingertips collides with the shadow golem, and it pierces right through it, and electricity ripples through the shadows, and it, like, just sort of, like, slumps down, the boulders falling harmlessly into the ground around you.
Yay.
Philippe cast lightning bolt.
Well,
nice.
He didn't.
Okay, and now it is Yaga's turn.
Yeah.
Wait, so the thing... Wait.
Yeah, the golem is dead.
Dead, good. I just had to check for my own safety.
Yes.
I'm going to start marching up to Ijal, who can't do dick about having to listen to me. You came here to do God knows what with that bell, and one other thing. Destroy the Yaga. But all this time, the countless centuries that you have been trapped underground, stagnating, the Yagas continue on. I have got the knowledge and experience of countless lifetimes behind me to help me in this battle, as well as actual allies, you sad prick. And what do you have? What do you have? And I'm gonna cast Thunderwave.
Do it. That is I'm just gonna say an automatic fail. Fucking just roll your damage, damn it.
Ding. Hang on, what is my...
And don't forget...
Fuck, I didn't read it. 2d8, cool. Plus 1d4.
2d8 plus 1d4.
13.
You did exactly so!
You?
Yeah!
Oh my god! I'm so fucking badass!
You clap your hands together, and this storm around you begins to, like, crackle with, like, lightning and thunder. It, like, ripples and booms, and I think everyone, like, all your allies are, like, backing off a little bit. And the wind, like, that's been channeling around you blows outwards, and as it strikes Ijal, Aijal's body begins to just disintegrate. They try to break through the spell and they raise a hand out at you, but one by one their fingers turn to dust in the wind and begin to blow away, and they are shrieking in pain as the skeletons that form this form just begin to one by one just turn to dust. Eventually you see just the original skeleton, one dragonborn skeleton, just thin comparatively without the bulk of the other bodies he had strapped to himself for power. Panting and weak, he just looks at him and says, "My life is forfeit to the Master. The Marquis will get his way. The Nine will rise. This is all for nothing!" And then there's one last shriek as the wind blows stronger. He just turns to dust in the wind and vanishes.
That's all we are, dude. My hands are shaking. I feel so cool.
There's a moment of silence, and after a moment, the darkness begins to sort of fade as above you the purple light begins to die down and be replaced with the normal blue sky of the early dawn. And I think for a moment there is just nothingness except the light, and then there's just this light, warm breeze. And in front of you, Yaga, there stands a woman, only known to you. An elderly woman that was both friend and mentor. And then beside you, another, and another, and another. And once again, you're confronted with the spirit of every Yaga. And unlike previously, everyone can see them. And there is just a moment of calm as one by one they begin to float upwards into the sky, and as they do, they turn to petals and seeds, and they scatter among the wind.
Yaga went back to her home planet.
I was emotional over the replanting of the desert, but thanks.
As you emerge from the church into the city, you are met by the sight of a miracle. The Girhim Desert still stretches out for miles around you, but around the city, an oasis has sprouted. There is this lush forest that has bloomed around the city. And you can see that while there's still carnage and bodies among the street, the spirits seem to have gone, and the party see Shea and the other people that you've helped at the foot of the steps. They were coming up to help, and they've been stopped by this sight, and they're just looking around in total awe. What do you do?
Not very much. I'm pretty sure Phelix laid on his back with several broken ribs.
Oh, I have to heal my party.
Yeah, Philippe.
Sorry, can't celebrate right now.
Philippe is crumpled up on the floor.
I lost 2 HP the whole battle.
You fuck!
I have 2 HP left.
Yaga's boss only did 2 points of damage to Yaga.
Dora, 2 hit point club.
Yeah, boy.
I can cure... I've got enough slots to cure wounds on both of you.
What we'll say, I think for narrative progression, obviously the session's over. I don't need you guys
Yeah.
Yaga takes a moment and I think even says one hand of both of you just stems the wounds and creates lifts enough pain that you are able to walk comfortably. Phelark, you're still going to have a couple of gnarly scars, and Philippe, you don't feel great.
Oh.
Yeah. Before we leave the area Philippe is gonna stumble over to the broken corpse of his second son.
Oh.
And he's gonna try and do his cantrip mending, sobbing over another lost soul.
You fix the button, but you don't fix the soul inside.
You've just got a big button.
I think Shea and the others kind of approach you and they're what happened in there?
Shea's voice has changed.
Idea. Philippe is going to speed paint a quotation tapestry of the fight for them to display for our great deeds to be passed down for generations.
Give me a quick performance check, Dora.
Yeah, boy. 22.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Obviously,
Philippe just...
yeah.
I think it's while, like, Yaga is, like, fucking fussing over you, like, trying to get you to sit still and heal you, and you're like...
Stick a plaster
And
on
you're
it.
just, like, painting.
So-
And...
I have a vague idea of the tapestry, so obviously it's going to look more like the traditional medieval tapestries, but instead of Philippe being the rubbish stick man for once, he's going to look like those horrific medieval, like,
Cats.
babies and cats.
There's a squirrel fighting a snail in the margin.
There's a tree with penises on it.
Oh,
Oh, gotta have those.
dick tree.
Yeah.
And sure enough, all the trees blooming in the desert
Dick
have
trees.
penises.
If you're an artist, try and draw this for us. And tag us at Wackaroll on Instagram or Twitter or where else we are. Yeah.
I think that's the
Just
only
approach
person
us
we
in
are.
person, hand it
Come up
us
to us in
and
the
say
street.
nothing.
If you know where to find us.
It's an adventure. It's like a hide-and-seek game.
Anyway, so Shia...
Just, Shea looks at the tapestry and is like... Very impressive.
Ah, your voice is back.
You saved all.
We tried. We did our best.
I don't
Yes.
We did all right.
Sometimes you're not left with an option.
We did A-okay.
I think we fast forward a few days from here.
Wait. Before we do that, is any of the people in this crowd that have come up recognisable as bartenders?
What?
Somebody
Yeah,
get me a mojito.
someone goes to fetch you mojito quickly.
Thank God.
It is the Tabaxi barkeep
Yes.
that one of these days me and you are writing a porno for.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Excellent.
Um,
Got to
We-
bring that tease in for the Patreon.
we skip to a few days ahead, and I think there's been a lot of like resting for the three of you and Orthrus, obviously. And
I'll just take those spell slots back then.
Yep.
Oh God, yeah,
And-
please.
Over a few days, you heal up to full, obviously, and you have the bell. You have a few other things, and you're just sort of like picking up the last few bits of your affairs. During this time, Lou from the camp has arrived in the city. She has been sent to collect you with a cart. Hello! Oh, I love you. I love the tattoo, darling. The one around your throat.
Oh, is that still? That's still there. Good.
It's healing.
Good.
And I think that the three of you are preparing to leave. There's been some like help with the repair efforts if you want to. If you don't, you don't have to. And I think that on the day that you guys are packing up to leave, Lou kind of like approaches Yaga and Philippe. I need to speak to you two, darlings. Yes, about the and she kind of like taps the palm of her hand.
Oh, yes.
Oh shit, dog.
Yes, I was just thinking about this.
I've seen this whole enchantment before. I understand that's a fee that you have to pay. Well, if you can't pay the fee, there is another option. Look, Theb back at camp can disenchant this, no problem. You'd be unexonerated from the dead, but, the prince's treasury will notice if something like that gets disenchanted, dearies. And, they'll know you skipped on your debt. The two of you would become wanted.
Well, what if I
No.
just kept the thing and never paid it?
Then then if you still have it on, they could track you if you left the city. They would be jail time, for sure. No,
I mean,
J-
could we potentially try and convince them, given that we, saved their lives?
I think as you say that, you hear a from behind you. You turn, and there
I
is
just
a
turned my
minotaur.
actual fucking head. What the f...
You did that last episode as well.
Um,
You did that before when Orpheus ran out the room.
Oh,
I weave such a good word tapestry.
You do.
Behind you, in the doorway to the room, there is a minotaur, and you recognize him as the captain of the guard that was at your trial. He says, "I hope I'm not interrupting."
you are, but go ahead.
No, I'll
Three
wait.
of you and your allies, the child and Jimmy Fingers,
Yes.
You were seen fighting in the streets and entering the church where that unholy abomination landed. We do not know what happened behind those walls, but whatever you did caused this whole thing to end. He pulls out 3 fine silk pouches and opens them. Inside of them are an assortment of coins and small, flawless gems. So, just to confirm, your fines were 1,500 gold each.
So 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 together.
But they are And the Minotaur says, I know that you have fines to pay. This reward is entirely off the books. The fines stand. If you choose to then return this to the treasury, that is up to you. Otherwise, find your own way of paying the fines. Or, of course, the deal still stands. Each satchel here is worth 1,500 gold precisely. Take them now and know that this night never took place. Is that understood?
Crystal clear.
Now, in terms of game mechanics now, what I'm going to say is, Yag and Philippe are both presented with an with an option right now. So, your option is, you can obviously just pay off your debt using the reward gold for this arc. Mm-hmm. I will remind you that after this session, we are going to go into a caravan break, which means there'll be shopping opportunities. And for Christmas, I actually received a book of magic items I have been in communication with the writer of, and I'm allowed to use them for the podcast. So there are a lot of items that we can use for this.
Who wrote it? Are we allowed to say?
Yes, but I'm going to save that for next week.
Okay. Thank you, mystery person that Luke hasn't told me the name of yet.
You could spend the 1,500 gold now, not have anything to spend on items, or you can take these coins out and get them removed by Theb. Theb will not charge you for that service. However, you two will become wanted. What that means is in any combat or any tests that require you against any soldiers or guardsmen, any law enforcement at all, you will have disadvantage on those checks. The wanted status will stay until you do a job for the caravan that will be defined at a later point. In essence, suggesting that you're doing a small crime in order to pay off, someone somewhere to remove you of that wanted status. So this is entirely up to you two, and you don't have to do it together. One of you can take the gold, one of you can leave.
I'm paying the fine. I'm always going to want to say #fuckcops. So I don't want that disadvantage in there. And I'm not going to rat out the necromantic cult. I'll just pay the fucking fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna pay.
Okay, so the total gold reward for this session is 1,500. Now that gold is in one pouch. Phalark, it's up to you how that goes. Obviously, if you want to split it, you can.
Yeah, obviously, 500 each.
Aww. What a legend.
Here you go, lads. Your pocket money.
Oh, thanks ever so much, son. How's that life treating you? Nice to have it, eh?
I think you guys are having this conversation as you're strapping a few supplies to the cart and a horse that came with Lou. As you do, I think you hear hold. Sorry, I can't remember the voice. Hold. Second. There are 3 figures approaching. Shea and the 2 dwarves that you saved from the caravan way earlier. First of all, the caravan approach. It's oh my god. Amelie and Mac were the 2 survivors, affectionately called Hammerdwarf and Punchdwarf at the time. Look, we never properly thanked you for saving our asses back then. And then you saved the entire city, and you're going on. Anyway, it's not much, but it's just some of our stock. And they kind of reveal a small cloth sack, inside of which there are 3 glittering blue rocks. Each player gets 1 piece of mana ore.
Dope.
I will explain the effects of mana ore next week.
Is that an existing item in D&D, or is it new?
Nope, it's homebrewed. And then Shea approaches. Shea produces pieces of folded cloth, and she says, "I've been talking. He wants you to have." She opens the cloth, inside of which there's a strange faint ring of light. Who takes it?
Me?
Go for it.
Yeah.
When you pick it up, Yaga, the item is almost weightless. It feels like it is moving shaped smoke with only the barest like form to it. It just vaguely holds a shape when you hold it, and it has no weight to it. This is Uressa's halo.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's grim.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Morbid.
Oh.
It is a magical item. As per norm, you do not know the magical properties of it yet.
Okay.
Are you sure you want us to have this?
Not my choice. He wants.
1 times ASMR Halo.
I think Shea sort of bows and says, "You friend to Necromancer."
I like to think so.
With that, I think that there's a "yeah" from the front of the cart as Lou gets the horse moving, and the three of you trundle out into the new oasis around Aegir, and then off into the desert, heading home for the first time in a while.
Can I ask a question? I don't want to like ruin this because I love it. Where's Orpheus?
Oh.
Orthrus is also there. Hello!
Okay.
Oh.
The GM forgot about me again.
We just adopted the child.